Now, page 4, the irresponsibility of the debt ceiling fiscal charade. Here's how Washington, D.C. works. Most, not all, lawmakers on both sides of the aisle have a system. They spend our tax dollars like drunken politicians. In fact, they spend more than the Treasury Department receives. It's called deficit spending. In the private sector, it's called criminally reckless. We would have our credit cut off and or go to jail for what they do in the public sector. These temporary politicians knowingly spend more money than is in government coffers. But hey, they say no big deal. That's because they know down the road these IOUs will be covered by the full faith and credit of the United States government. That would be us. They know that once these federal credit cards are maxed out, if you will, that more credit will be issued. Always. It's never failed. So when Paul Ryan or Nancy Pelosi draft these outrageous spending blueprints that are filled with hundreds of billions of dollars of red ink, they know that they will not be held accountable for overspending. They know that even though we have a budgetary and credit debt ceiling, that it will be increased necessarily. So they spend, and they spend some more until they deficit spend, meaning these temporary politicians spend more money than we, the people, gave them from our various taxes. It's a game, it's a joke, and it should be criminal. The truth is, there is no debt ceiling if every time we hit it, these elected officials raise it without fear of being held accountable and without regard for future generations of Americans. And so instead of focusing on fiscal sanity in Washington, D.C., the majority of Democrats in the House continue to be obsessed with getting President Trump, led by Al Green, the nutcase politician from Texas.
The investigation has nothing to do with bigotry.
Stop tape. What investigation? What exactly? Robert Mueller is done. This was the investigation, right? This was so-called Russian collusion. It wasn't the investigation that should have taken place. If Robert Mueller was really looking at interference in the 2016 election cycle, he should have looked no further than the Obama White House. And he should have investigated how and why Team Trump was spied upon by the Obama Justice Department and the phony dossier, and how that was used to get the warrant to spy upon people in the Trump campaign. That is what he should be investigating. What is this man talking about? What investigation? There is no investigation that we know official, unless, of course, he's talking about the weaponized committees in the House of Representatives. That would be all the weaponized committees. Virtually all the committees have been weaponized. So he could be talking about that, but there is no official investigation that we know of. So what is he revealing here? And bigotry? What? The reason the Democrats keep trying to paint Donald Trump as a racist, and by the way, it's a moniker that's not sticking. If it didn't stick during this entire Omar Ilan craziness, it's not going to stick afterwards. And it's not sticking on Donald Trump because he's not a racist. So this whole bigotry, racist thing is a waste of time, except the reason the Democrats are doing it is because they know if they can pick off minority votes from Donald Trump, if they can get black voters, a decent amount of black voters who support the president to say, oh, you know what, maybe he's a racist, I'm not going to vote for him, they know it's going to help their guy, their candidate in the presidential election in 2020. That's the entire reason they're trying to stick him with this phony racist moniker. Roll tape.
With obstruction of justice. So I'm disappointed that we have not impeached this president.
Of course you're disappointed. Of course you're disappointed. It's not because you're for the rule of law that you're disappointed. It's not because you're for the United States Constitution that you're disappointed. It's not for we the people that you're disappointed. You're disappointed because you're a partisan hack for the modern Democrat Party. And that's all you care about, is your party and your power. And that's the entire reason why you've gone to the floor now, 100 times calling for impeachment. That's all you care about. You don't care about the damage that you're doing to this republic. You don't care about the damage that you're doing to the founding document and how you're watering down the entire notion of impeachment. You don't care about the fact that Donald Trump has committed no impeachable offenses.
Want to see more videos like this? Click on the link below and subscribe to One American News on YouTube, and call your cable provider and kindly demand that One American News is added to your lineup. Call and subscribe today.